In this video, I'm going to show you how to target your ideal clients using your creative so you can bring in qualified book calls onto your calendar with people who can afford and are ready to pay for your services, right? So I'm going to show you a simple method to tell Bez AI who you want your ads to reach through your creative targeting. Now, the harsh reality for most businesses is that their ads aren't bringing in the followers, leads, or book calls that they want. Right, and most businesses are struggling with this, and they're facing the same issues that's draining their budgets and delivering like subpar returns. So what do you do if you're not booking calls or not getting the audience that you want or can afford your services, and you're struggling with low quality leads and you're booking calls with unqualified prospects, spending money with no significant return, or even worse, losing money, and you feel like you have zero control over who sees your ads? Well, I'm going to show you how to fix that by the end of this video. So by the end of this video, this is exactly what you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to use the likeness principle to attract your target audience, right? I'm going to show you how to call out your audience so only they pay attention and stay to watch the rest of your ad. I'm going to show you powerful language principles to magnetically attract your ideal audience. I'm going to show you how to describe their current problem and reality in so much detail that they trust you to help. I'm going to teach you exactly how to show and tell the AI who you want your ads to be shown to so that it's only shown to qualified prospects. And I'm going to give you a bonus, which is an example from one of our ads, which is a career coaching offer for one of my clients, and before and after, and shown exactly which creatives that we use to completely change the lead quality by just changing the messaging in the ad using all of these principles above here, right? So this is going to be a creative targeting masterclass. And I promise if you stay to the end of this video, I'm going to, and you apply what I'm saying, your ads are going to be so profitable that it'll feel like you're literally printing money. So the game has changed. As you know, all ad platforms from Meta to Google, Pinterest, all of them are moving towards, AI. AI is distributing your content and showing who gets to see your ad, right? So the new reality now, before you had all these different options, especially with Facebook ads of who you can like target different audiences that you target that you're targeting, but now you literally just upload the creative and AI decides who sees your ads, right? So the question now becomes, how do we control who the AI shows the ad to if you're no longer manually like actually selected which audiences that is going out to, right? So I'm going to show you how to do that like moving forward. So the first principle over here is the likeness principle. Now, what do you think this means? Is having a visual representation, right? So a simple, powerful way to target your audience is to use someone who resembles your target audience, but also, this is something people also miss as well, someone who actually represents the outcome or the dream identity that your audience want to achieve, right? The, the core principle of this is that the identity needs to resonate with them. So if you have an offer for women, and maybe you want to target middle-aged women that are going towards menopause, right? You want to use women in that age range, in that demographic, in the creative, right? And that signals the AI can actually read video and images as well, so it will start pushing out the content towards those type of demographics, right? If you're using someone older, you want to make sure that that's reflected in the ad, right? Now, the switch with this is, let's say you're having a fitness offer and you're probably targeting people who are out of shape. You don't want to use someone who's out of shape in the creative unless it's a testimonial, right? If you are advertising to these people and you're like supposed to train them, then you should have the body and resemble the outcome and the identity that they aspire to be. So you want to be someone who's fit and healthy, even though that they're not. So that's the caveat to this, right? It's not just using someone who resembles your target audience, but also it can be someone who that they aspire to be, right? But all of it links down to you want to get people to identify either with you or the outcome you want that they want to be or who they want to become in that creative, right? If you have a dating offer, maybe okay, so you want to have someone who's confident, speaks clearly, right? But maybe it has a backstory of being someone who was unattractive. So yeah, this is how you use likeness principle to actually target your audience using your ads. Visual representation really, really matters, right? You see this all the time. I see this all the time when, if it's a black person in the creative, guess what tends to happen? We see a lot more black people coming through. If it's a white person, if it's an Asian person, guess what? You get to see those type of more of those demographics coming through on that creative, right? Number two, principle two is how to call out your audience so only they pay attention, right? So the call out is your mechanism for ensuring only the right people pay attention. When you call out specific characteristics, identities, pains, or benefits, you're creating a filter that attracts qualified prospects while repelling everyone else. So strategy one can be identity. So you can call out their identity, right? So for example, home service business owners. Now you can go even deeper with this. If you can go, oh, roofers, for example, right? Or HVAC owners, right? So you're calling attention to those people. If I don't identify with that first word, then I'm not going to pay attention to the rest of the ad. Only people who they identify with that label will pay attention to your ad, right? So this is what we call identity or just labeling, right? So for example, sales reps looking for 5 to 10K in commissions on a monthly basis, right? Only sales reps are going to pay attention to that, right? Athletes wanting to increase performance. Only athletes are going to resonate with that, right? Athletes, oh yeah, only athletes are going to identify with that and pay attention going forward because they identify with that label. Everyone else that doesn't see themselves as an athlete is going to completely ignore it, right? So it's how you call out your target audience. But you can also do this with their pain or benefits. So, for example, a common one with business owners, especially in the service-based ones where they're selling over the phone, is you're struggling to book qualified calls. Still struggling to book qualified calls, right? Only people, really only business owners are going to resonate with that, right? It's going to call to that attention and going to cause that pain, right? You want clear skin in others under 14 days. People who don't have clear skin are probably going to pay attention to that, right? Feel like home buyers don't look like you, right? Only people wanting to buy a home are going to pay attention to that. So you can call out people using labels and call out their pain or the benefit that they specifically want, right? Now, the more specific you call out, the more qualified your leads. So don't be afraid to narrow your focus. Specificity, specificity, specific, specificity. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but you know what I'm trying to get across. Increases your conversion rates, right? Especially with the ads. Meta's got really good at targeting your ideal prospects, so you can be really, really specific with this, right? Okay, you could go like, yo, business owners making over 100,000 a month and looking to crack that $1 million a month mark, right? So yeah, you can do that, and the call outs is super, super, really, really good, really, really good way to just call out your target audience, and it's very simple for you to do as well. Okay, next is speaking their language. So this is how you speak their language so you magnetically attract your ideal audience. Now, this is one of my favorite things to do. Definitely one of my favorite things to do. So basically, there's some insider terms that signal to your audience that I'm one of you, right? So you want to find out what the insider terms and keywords are in your audience or your target audience that only your audience would that audience will specifically know, right? So this is the weapon for ideally attracting your target audience. And a good way you can do this, like for example, let's say I'm in marketing, right? And you're targeting marketers or business owners. If you use terms like ROAS, AOV, VSL, right? Attribution windows, funnels, conversion tracking. These are like language terms only people in that space would resonate with, right? And it kind of signals to them that you're in that group. If you're targeting high net worth individuals like rich people, instead of money, you might use capital, right? Instead of savings or a discount, you might use dry powder. Portfolio diversification, right? Liquidity. All of these terms resonate with higher net worth individuals because they're more business terms and financial terms that really only those people are going to be attuned with, right? So if you're targeting, healthcare awareness, let's say this person is dealing with acne, right? You can talk about Accutane, benzoyl peroxide solutions, right? Creams. These are past other solutions that people have used. Common solutions are common recommendations that people with acne use, right? To get rid of their spots, and for a lot of people, it gives them side effects. If you talk about this and actually describe their reality, they get to trust you a lot more, and you show that you're in the target audience, or at least are very attuned to that target audience as well. right? And this is what brings in qualified people. You show that you know you're actually one of them, or at least you understand them because you're speaking their language, right? So this is why it's important. You should be doing your research anyway, but especially if you're not in the market that you're targeting or you're selling to, it's so important and essential that you do your research so you can identify the language that your audiences uses, and understand how they talk to one another. Now the next one is describing their problem or reality in so much detail that they trust you to help, right? So deep description builds trust. The simple way you can do this is when you accurately describe the audience's current situation, right? You accomplish two critical objectives, right? You build immediate trust by demonstrating you understand their world, and you give them as AI crystal clear signals about who should see the ad, right? Describing their reality in so much detail, like if you can articulate how your audience is feeling and what problems that they're experiencing currently even better than they could, they're going to trust you to have the solution, right? Because you're so specific with your problem. You're showing that you understand them. You're showing that you've been through what they've been through, or you know you've already have the solution to it, right? They're going to assume that you already have the solution to it because you've articulated a problem and its causes is so much detail, right? Now this is also good because it helps you. It can either build the pain. I love really targeting pain first, right? Because pain causes people to pay attention, right? If you're in pain, you pay attention. So if you describe someone's pain in so much detail and specificity, right? Not only does they pay attention to you, but they're also going to trust you to have a solution. On top of that, you're building their pain up even more, so they want to solve it quicker. I love doing that, right? So for example, let's say you're in a B2C opportunity, you have like some kind of make money offer, for example, right? I do a lot of these. So, you know, if you're making good money in your career, but you feel stuck, you can't see yourself doing this 10, 20 years from now. And after taxes, mortgage, your living expenses, you're wondering how you're only left with £1,000 to save and invest into your future every month, even though you work 40 hours a week, then you're in the right place because, right? That's a current reality that a lot of people are experiencing that want to make more money. Maybe they're in a good career that they're earning a little bit, but it doesn't feel like a lot because they have so much things that they need to pay for, right? So you want to be specific, and that level of detail filters out everyone except the target person, except your target audience, right? Because who's going to pay attention for you describing that problem in detail unless that problem resonates with them, right? And this is how you reach the exact person that you want to reach, because they'll be the only ones that who want to stay and watch, right? So this is how you teach AI to, you know, only show you as a qualified prospect. You want to start combining these principles together. Use the likeness of your target audience, right? Call them out in the beginning of the ad. Use the insider language and then describe the reality in so much detail, right? And when you combine all four of these, you put it into a really powerful ad that's really going to be only pushed out to the target audience, to your target audience and your ideal prospects, right? Okay, and you're giving the AI multiple data points and signals to go after with your ad creatives, right? And you know, this is how you get your ads to reach precisely the people who are ready to pay and who are your ideal prospects and who are the people that you can specifically help, right? So poor inputs means there's a mismatch. If you're creative, if any one of these principles is off, you might be attracting the wrong kind of people into your funnel. Yeah, there tends to be a mismatch. Every time I analyze this, there tends to be a mismatch. If you're not getting the right people come through from your marketing campaigns, it's that the messaging on the front end, there's something in the messaging on the front end that is bringing in low quality people, right? So the AI will find the target audience, but it might not be. It will find a target audience in your ad, right? But it might not be the your audience, the one that you want, because certain things in the messaging is completely off, right? You don't want to be, for example, you can have the insider language. You can describe their problem in a lot of detail, but let's say you're targeting an older audience on people, women struggling with menopause, but you have no, like, the person sort of talking to them, the avatar doesn't resemble the likeness of someone that they relate to. It might still ruin the rest of the ad, right? So you want to make sure that you combine all of this together to really hone in on the target audience and actually get the most return for your money that you're spending on ad platforms, right? Okay, so you want to be as efficient as possible. Not to say that the ads won't necessarily work if you don't have all of if you don't have all of these in it. It's just that if you want your ads to be more efficient and get you your target audience and your target people with less spend, then you want to combine all of them, right? Now I'm going to show you an example of this. So I have a career. One of my clients is a business analyst. So they teach people how to transition into a business analyst career where they can earn more money, work from home, and have more work flexibility. Earn between 55 to 75,000 a year, right? Now, I took one of the reviews, edited it, and launched it as an ad. Not to say this ad was getting us loads of book calls, right? Um, but we're attracting low quality people because the person in the creative is someone on low income, a support worker, a single mother with children, right? So although we were getting sales from this ad, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna actually show you. So this is the ad creative that we
Hi,
launched.
I'm Sarah, and I used to work as a support worker with children who had severe behavioural issues. Don't get me wrong, I loved helping these kids, but the job, it was draining. The kids I worked with were often violent, some self-harmed, and every day was just emotionally heavy. On top of that, I was commuting long hours, and as a single mum, that meant finding someone to watch my daughter, which wasn't easy or cheap. I was making about £35,000 a year, and by the time I paid for childcare and my own living costs, barely anything's left. I knew something had to change. That's when I found an ad for this business analyst program from Digital Business School while searching for remote job opportunities on Google. And honestly, it changed my life. I didn't have any tech background or experience, but the program broke everything down and helped me step by step along my journey to transitioning into a BA. Fast forward 3 months, and I started landing interviews. Then
So although this was a good ad, and like guys, this thing was booking us 100. We spent five. This was the month where we spent like 4,000 on this ad. We got 100 book calls, and we do have the type form on the back end as well to only like get qualified leads that said they could afford our service. But still, then even when we have the filter of can you afford our service or not, right? We're still getting people that are still not our ideal prospects, right? Because we're getting a high volume of book calls, high volume of book calls. You can see this ad running here. Okay, right now on a little break, but you can see this ad running here that was booking a ton of calls, 51 calls, booking a ton of calls, right? But these people still weren't the highest quality people. We're getting a high volume of book calls, but low quality of people. The leads were mostly financially struggling because the woman in here in the creative, she was financially struggling and she was a single mom, right? We're getting a lot of women that were just broke and a lot of healthcare workers as well. And a lot of healthcare workers actually tend to be immigrants, right? So on top of them not having the money to pay in full, most of these people don't have credit cards either, right? So we can't do like a financing or payment plan with them, right? Okay. And it was just basically attracting the wrong demographic of people. We're getting mostly people that were kind of broke, support workers, and a ton of immigrants come through our funnels, right? So even with the qualification forms and everything, right? The creative was telling the AI to find these type of people. Now, this is what we did to switch this out, right? This is what we did to switch this out. The next creative that we launched was this one.
So 3 months ago, I was scrambling for work. Today, I'm a remote business analyst on £60,000 a year. So prior to DBS, I spent 6 years in aviation as a pilot for EasyJet British Airways. Then last year, COVID wiped out my flying career. I ended up seeing an ad on Google for Digital Business School about transitioning to a BA to secure a high-paying tech role, earning up to £75,000 a year in just 3 months by taking the program. To be honest, I was skeptical, unsure at first. I learned in life when things sound too good to be true, they usually are. DBS isn't just another online course. They give you a complete roadmap, live teaching, hands-on practice, project experience. There's a support until you take away any DBS building.
I was burnt out. I'd put in so much time and effort only to earn about 30k a year, barely getting by. And it wasn't just the pay, it was the constant pressure. I'm a product analyst.
Getting higher and higher while my bank balance, spreadsheets, working crazy hours, watching London prices climb, just getting higher and higher while my bank balance, doesn't, right?
So what we did with this ad was we used reviews from people who were in more high earning careers like pilots, accountants, and pilots, accountant, and a teacher was in there. Were in there as well, and we're targeting people that weren't necessarily because with this angle was more, hey, we can help you make more money, but you start attracting people that are deprived of money, right? With this ad, not only do we target people who wanted to earn more, but also we're targeting people who really wanted to work from home and have more work flexibility so they can spend time with their family, but still earn the same amount, right? So we target a higher income careers, higher income careers, right? But we're targeting for people that wanted more of the work flexibility as while keeping their income instead of people that just wanting to make more money. Because if you're wanting to make a lot more money, like if you're wanting to make more money, there's a caveat to that to where with the creative, depending on the creative, like we're using that woman over there, you might be attracting people who are deprived, don't actually have the money, right? But if you're targeting more people that want work flexibility, the ability to work from home, right? It assumes that they probably are happy with how much they're earning, or happy with how much they're earning, or they still want to earn more, but also want more the benefits to work from home, be with the family, etc. Right? So we changed the creative from this to this, where we're using men in this higher income careers, right? People who are actually native to the country as well, right? And what happened? We were getting people were having salaries where they're earning more than £35,000 a year, right? Because these people are native to the country, actually British people, right? That she was as well, but because of the space, because of the actual industry that she was in as a support worker, that industry is dominated by immigrants, right? And the accounting, all these highest skilled roles, highest skilled job roles, qualified job roles, right, tend to be not have as many immigrants in it, basically, right? So we're getting people who actually own credit cards. A lot of people that actually had the ability to pay in full, right? Higher quality conversations, and the customers have a better lifetime value, right? So with these people, literally almost every single person wanted to split their payment in three. With this, we still get some of that, but because these people had credit cards, they can do on the financing so that we can actually get the payment in full, right? So it's literally like a night and day difference in the people that we were attracting. And literally all we changed was the messaging using these four principles. I used the likeness of the target audience in here, right? I called out the people. We called out the people because it was talking about I used to be a pilot, right? I used to be an accountant, etc., etc. All of these things are signals that tell the AI who to go after, right? We describe the current plane in much detail, but we do this through a story. So it's not like me describing what they're experiencing. They were describing. I was using testimonials that we've got of them speaking about their own problems and reality that their audience and their story that the audience that is watching it can relate to as well. Because they describe their problems in in really great detail, right? Okay. And they use insider terms in their stories as well that relates to what the target audience that they'll be speaking to, right? So the accountant was using accountant terms, teacher was using teaching terms, and etc., right? So by literally just simply changing this creative, guys, from going from this to this, right, we're getting a way. The difference in quality of people was literally like night and day. It was actually crazy, right? So literally, if you fix your creative, you fix your ads. Don't let the AI guess. Tell it who you want. Apply these four principles to your next campaign and watch your lead quality transform overnight, right? It makes that much of a difference, right? Okay, so if you found this video helpful, then click the link below. I do have a masterclass that shows you exactly how to use a human psychology with AI to help you create winning ads consistently without any of the guesswork, right? So you can click the link below on my YouTube and you can find that there. And yeah, you can book in a call. I specialize in helping service-based businesses and online coaches scale with paid advertising and having the back-end systems optimized there as well, right? So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.